and on that platform.
That was the first time you really made an announcement. People knew that you was clean, but they didn't know like what got you.
They didn't know, yeah, like just like the question you asked, what made you? And I used to always beat around it, and I was like, well, I ain't ready to say it yet, you know what I mean? But when he came along and said, I think you should start telling it, I was like, what better way?
How did you feel? How did you feel after you're in the studio and you finally say it? It's on the record. Like, did you feel a weight lifted off of you, or were you anxious about how people would respond to knowing exactly what happened? Or
I felt like a weight lifted off of me because of where we recorded at with Kurt Franklin. I overdosed in that studio.
Wow.
So I think that where I broke myself at, God built me right back up.
Was that a purposely done thing, or y'all just ended up back at that studio?
God just put it just happened that way. You know what I'm saying? And I was ashamed to go back to the studio, and I was you know, I was talking to God, I was like, I don't want to go back in there. He was like, go back in there and watch what I do. You know what I mean?
So you knew you was gonna record this God record, but you didn't even know. Wow.
Well, he was actually at the studio for something else. I think he was working on the PSC album, so he was in the studio for something else. And then I was just like, hey, Kurt on the way. He like, what? Now? I'm finna do mine now. I'm finna go, you know what I'm saying? So he went on and
Hey man, what's good with you, man? It's your boy Cutter TV, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you hit that subscribe, like, and that share button on YouTube, Facebook, you already know, you know what I'm saying? But at this young Dro, man, he telling how he overdosed in the studio with damn Kurt Franklin. Imagine going in that motherfucker to handle some business and do some music and collab with Kurt Franklin, one of the greatest. And you pass out from whatever substance it was that you took out there, you feel me? That got to be crazy, but at the same time, it takes a strong individual, strong-minded person to have them embarrass yourself like that in front of everybody, and then turn around and go right back to the motherfucking studio, man. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Young Dro. You know what I'm saying? T.I. what up? You know what I mean? But anyway, try to stay away from the drugs.
laid his verse down right then that day, but it was definitely ordained. Like
initially
I
was ashamed to go back to the studio because everything was there. You feel what I'm saying? So we started working on the PC app. It just was like, you know what I'm saying?
That's something he never even told me. I didn't even know.
I wasn't cool with coming back in there. You know, feel me? After I've been laid all out on the floor. You know what I'm saying? But once I got the opportunity, I just swallowed that, took that walk of shame, went back in there and recorded, not knowing that God was going to rebuild me and give me a platform to actually share with people what happened to me right there and, you know, get the glory out of it. You dig what I'm saying?
Did you hear God in that moment? Did you
I heard him in that moment.
Wow.
Another situation and another example of don't give up. Like, you gotta keep pushing, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that man overdosed, down there died. And got down embarrassed as hell to go back in there, but that motherfucker went back in there. Look where you at right now.
I was gonna ask, did you deal with why you needed or why you thought you needed those pills? Was it upset? Was it I wanted to turn up? Did you think you needed it to make a record? Did you deal with that part of it? Because that's the part that scares me with any artist, because it's like you take it feeling like it's gonna take you to someplace else, and it's like, well, what made you feel like I had to take that pill?
It started out with like just having fun and, you know, in the hood getting high, but then it made me feel like I needed it to make good music, you know what I'm saying, and actually it just stimulated, and I used to just write crazy, and then it got to the point where like it became an addiction, so that went out the window, music went out the window, and then I was like, oh, well, I needed to, you know, do this and just do that, you know what I'm saying, plus from trauma, you know what I'm saying, things happened to me when I was younger. You know what I mean? Being shot and introduced to Demerol and addicted to that in the hospital, and you know, from the way I got whoopings as a child, that trauma. You know what I'm saying?
Boy, we don't.